The Black Placebo.
Eden was 40 cubits above Earth, above the mountain. So Eden is technically not on Earth. So when they looked at it, they came down below. Which is like coming down to another dimension, you could say, but came down below. But they were still on the mountain. And so now Adam and Eve died a lot after that because they didn't know how to eat, drink, none of that. I mean, after a while, he was like, Lord, if the serpent is over here, like, please don't let me go over there. Like, I don't even, like, the deep part about it is that when we sin, continue to go because we don't die at the moment, right? Like when Eve touched the apple, he said, surely you won't die if you touch it, but God didn't say that to Adam. He said, you know, you eat it, you'll die. The serpent told Eve, he said, if you touch it, surely you won't die. So when she touched it, she didn't die and nothing happened, so she kept going on with it, right? Now when she ate this fruit off the tree, the serpent was there, and he said he went into her, but it wasn't sexual. He possessed her. And we know it wasn't sexual because in the garden they didn't have digestive system, anything, any of those things. Because Adam tells you that when they get out the garden, because they didn't even know how to eat. And actually, Satan appeared to Adam and tried to convince him to marry Eve. That's how the marriage of Eve even came up. And Adam was vexed. He was like, bro, I don't know what I don't think I'm supposed to. I don't know, right? But the moral of this story is that when Adam was in his garden, Eve was in the south side of the border, you know, on the mountain. You had the people that was below the mountain. Now on this mountain was brimstone and fire and stuff like that going up the mountain. And so the ones that below the mountain couldn't come up the mountain. Yeah. And the ones that below the mountain was raw nature. It was nature. It was raw nature, you know. And so what we're talking about is raw chaos. And so raw emotion, all these two things to go together, right? Nature, chaos, emotion. So that's why you're not animals. You're not a dog. You don't act like an animal. And the reason why we're not animals is because we can control sexual urges, sexual tendencies, i.e., you know, the RAPE word. You know what I mean? Like, and we control all these things. And like, we control our diet. We control who. Like in the animal kingdom, and I didn't want to mate with you, he just mate with you, right? We control our tendencies to want to kill the other man, to kill the other king, So those things that were below the mountain, then it was this raw, chaotic energy, emotions, lust, fear, panic, i.e. pain. Now, you also had the Sodders out there, the satyrs out there. The ones who's like fluffy goats with that they're supposed to help man God man in the forest, and they play the flute.
Right.
And they'll have like human bodies or sometimes like, but they have like goat legs.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now when Cain, I'm sorry y'all, that was loud, but now so when Cain killed Abel, so you had Adam and Eve, right? And you had Cain and Abel. Now, when many don't know that they also had two sisters. Okay, so when Cain killed Abel, oh, actually, let me go back. Let me rewind a little bit. So when Adam was going through, which is Adam and Eve, and Adam was going through all these trials and tribulations. And by the way, God called them angels at this time because He communed with them, and they were perfect, because when they did mess up, they had God to correct them. Which walking in, if you mess up, that's it. The reason why the Lord can say go off and be perfect, you know why? Do you think you can be perfect?
Close to it.
Right.
Perfect, I don't know what it means, but close to it.
Okay, so, but how do you be perfect? Okay,
I wonder.
now let me give you an instance. Now, you're a father, and you give your child this book of all your laws, right? And and so now when you mess up in school, whatever, let's just say school, and you interrupt the class. Now, this is what I want you to do, and I wrote it down so you know I want you to do. It's like you write the rules of the house down and put it on the refrigerator like mom used to do, right? Okay, right? So you disobey my mother. The dishes ain't done when she get here and stuff like that, right? Okay, you got laws now. Now, if you got home late from, basketball training, you got a test and you got to study for a test, something like that, so you can really do dishes, but you've been studying all night. You got a study group, right? And she already told you though, if that happens, you need to let me know, and you need to, as soon as you get here, you need to go ahead and knock them out, or knock them out before you go to school in the morning, right? So now that even though I couldn't do the dishes that night, I knocked them out and let her know, and I knocked them out before I got to school that morning, right? So now I can do dishes that night, they disobey, right? And so in God's word, they deserve death. Right? But, so what I did to correct her to get grace, I called her, let her know, and then I did it before I got, so now she's happy. So are you not perfect by what your mom said?
Yeah.
You tell your son, hey, man, you disrupted the class, I need you, when you do that, you need to go apologize to your teacher and apologize to the class in front of the class. And he disrupted the class, right? He got a letter home, but then he tell you, but Dad, I got it from the teacher and I apologize to the teacher and I apologize to the class. Did he not walk in perfection? Exactly. That's how you go and walk and be perfect. But in God's world, you gotta know the laws. You gotta know His laws to even walk in that world. Like it's narrow. It's a narrow path. It's His laws. It's His laws, statutes, commandments, heritage. It's all of that. So if you know that, even when you stumble, if you do the things He said to do when you stumble, and go to Him, you're walking in perfection. That's why He said, go off and be perfect. Even when you stumble, I told you what to do when you stumble. Now, you don't do that, now when you're walking in chaos. All right? Okay, so now let's go back to what Adam was doing. So Adam was perfect in this world. He was going off, and though he kept dying, because it was a new world in him, God was there to guide him, to carry him, and lift him back up and tell him. Matter of fact, everything that Adam did, where he died at, where he walked at, the Lord said, I'm gonna die right there too. I'm gonna walk right there too. And God he said that he sent His Spirit, the Word, to Adam. So the Word is who?
Let me not mess up Adam.
Yeshua. The word is Yeshua. the Father is the thought. The Word is the Son.
Yeah.
So he sent his word to Adam. So Jesus was talking to Adam the whole time in the garden.
Okay.
Remember I told you, Jesus is, the Lord is 7 spirits. Right? And so now you understand that Adam was actually talking to God, then he was talking to the Word the whole time. The Word that was protecting him and guiding him and undeading him. I mean, bringing him back to life. Every time he died, he said, I'm going to die in this cave too. They're going, in 3 days I'm going to rise. And don't worry, because I'm seeing a flood over there. Don't go too far west, because I'm seeing a flood over there. You stay over here for right now. So now the whole point I got into this is to say, when Adam was in the wilderness, right? His newfound place. When he was going to and fro. Now, the only animal that didn't get named by Adam is the serpent. The serpent kept his name since the Leviathan, which is also the serpent. What the Lord called him, that snaky serpent that stood when the Leviathan, which is the devil, right? And so you can't have a Tiamat without a Leviathan. So now you put Samaria in order. Samaria is here. Adam and Eve is here. And everything below them that's going to eventually mate with each other and create Samaria. Samaria are lesser gods than these guys. That's why Samaria worship gods. Where they get those gods from? The original of the original. Like, you see what I'm saying? So now, when Adam was going through the trial and tribulation, he walked one place because I don't want to say, I don't know what he was, I don't think this is the point. I know this one part he was vexed at the fact that he was vexed at Eve. Because I think that the devil tricked her. The devil kept coming at him in different ways. He kept coming at him to trick them. So while Adam said, I'm going to go over here and fast, and you go over there and fast, he would come to Eve in the form of an angel and say, the Lord has brought me and told me to tell you to go to Adam. So he get Adam out of his fasting. Right? And so Adam had went off to a way to go and fast or something like that. He was going away to something. And this is when a spirit of a woman came upon him. But a woman that you could physically touch, have sex with, all that, right? And she was enticing him to have sex and said that the Lord sent me because surely you are tired. In other words, you know, Eve has fulfilled her purpose that you are tired or whatever, and you should have sex with me, or you should impregnate me and marry me. And this was what we call Lilith. He told her no. And then so she went and turned around and made it with her creator, which was Satan. So now I want to tell you another story. Now, another time where Adam was roaming in this area, a family came up to him, and this is when he was enticed to have a family, to marry Eve. Around the time, don't quote me. But anyway, this happened in the book where they came up to him from the water. A whole family rose from the lake. They came up on him. The Satan was showing him. He said, "No, I got better things for you to do than to be a carpenter, because God gave them fire, Adam fire, and all stuff like that, right? So to work the field and do it, I got something better for you where I'm going, where I'm at, right? Matter of fact, I got a whole kingdom of things out here, people out here, things out in my creations or whatever. So you see the people come out the river, out the lake, start talking to Adam and Eve. Then they let out these calls, and then they say, you know, all these other creations that look like humans and angels come out, but they're all animals. They're all what we just talked about with chaos. They're all raw nature spirits, and some of them, not all of them, are forms of animals. Right? You got and this is what we get, what we call the enchanted forest. Because you also got the elves, the sprites, and the fairies, and the pixies, and all that. They're more with nature, like the elements of nature.